what was their takeaway from it? Was it something that was, you know, positive, that they then create a story that had a positive impact for you? Was it negative? You know, did it do anything for you beyond the fact that they read it? And again, that's what some of the sentiment analysis and other advanced tools begin to provide for you in terms of that.
Another question from the audience is, what are some of the collaboration platforms that PR people can use to engage with reporters?
Well, certainly there's been mention made of things like Propduct and the Helper Reporter out, and certainly you'll see some other tools emerging in the very near future, but I think Facebook pages have been a fairly well adopted opportunity as well for people to have that direct engagement.
You also don't forget Twitter as well. I think that's you know, a big area, and that's where a lot of journalists are looking for information. A lot of people are following, like the blogs, etc. So we now have a lot of different platforms that we can go to engage.
And that's one of the things too, as you mentioned with Twitter. I mean, just for people that are scared to get into social media or they haven't done it yet, at the very least, you create a corporate Twitter account. I guarantee you 50 of the top 50 newspapers in the nation have Twitter accounts. So at the very least, you can be following, and hopefully they'll follow you back. That's a very simple way to engage with a reporter right there, is just follow their Twitter accounts, and every now and then, if you have a good story, post it to them. It's the same idea as kind of a traditional pitch, but it's a lot quicker, a lot easier, you get instant feedback.
Yeah, just don't spam them.
Right.
That's the most important
Don't
thing.
overdo it.
Do not overdo it.
Sure. Well, I think we're ready for our first question from the audience, if anyone wants to step up and ask our panelists. Okay, well, while you think about how to stump our folks up here, what about in terms of expectations for media measurement? I mean, is the time going to come when the C-suite says, don't tell me how to measure the media, tell me how what you're doing measures up to what I'm reporting to my investors, to sales, to share price, to cost of customer service? When is that conversation going to start? And how do the folks in the room keep up their end of it?
I think it's sort of started. You know, at this point, and there's a struggle. I mean, you know, we'll talk about ROI. What does ROI mean? It means different things, different people, depending on who you're talking to. It could be the number of people that saw a press release or video. But now they do want to know, okay, did my campaign drive sales? Can I actually now track the transactions that occurred because of that campaign? And I think with a lot of the analytics that we have and being able to actually follow through, we can start providing that information to people as they go.
I think it starts with goals. You have to set a goal. What is the expected outcome of sending something out? And you have to kind of map the analytics to those goals. For example, one of the things that we use Twitter for is lead generation. So I mean, if before we send out, we just did this social media news survey. We wanted people to download it. We sent out a couple tweets about it, and the goal was to have people download it. It was as simple as that. We wanted people to download it. And again, immediately, I sent out the tweet, 10 minutes later, I had 15 downloads. So I mean, it's instant gratification, but the key is to set that goal first. So really, don't, you know, obviously you want to drive sales, but sometimes your goals can be a little bit further down, you know, awareness, things like that. But you certainly want to set a goal for what do I want this press release to accomplish, or what do I want posting this video to accomplish.
Question?
Hi, Dave Fluckley with Lambert Edwards and Associates. Just a quick question. I think, you know, obviously we present the best case scenario in a lot of these discussions, but you know, everybody knows that our clients have skeletons in their closet, legal issues, legal concerns. Even, you know, in my world, it's a regulated environment in healthcare. So there's things that they can say and want to say, and then there's other times when, like, if you're engaging with individuals in social media, there's things that, you know, there's HIPAA rules, all that kind of stuff that goes on that you have to. I think that's where a little bit of the fear comes into play with some of our clients in terms of engaging with directly with the consumer. Do you have anything to say on that?
That's a great point. And as an FYI, skeletons announcements are surprisingly social on the web. Bad things from companies past. I want to just throw it to our panelists in terms of dealing with some of the regulatory issues and skeletons in people's closets.
Here on Newswire, MultiVu, we deal with a lot of healthcare companies. So we certainly feel the pain in terms of dealing with all the regulations and the SEC requirements, etc. And we work very diligently to make sure that we're aware of the latest in the rules of engagement. We also work closely with various legal departments from many of the major pharmaceutical companies, all of whom have different standards themselves. They can change from company to company. So the best advice is, number one, be up on the rules of engagement, certainly partner with people who are familiar with it, who won't just say to you, yeah, sure, you can do anything, because that's going to get you into hot water. You need to be really taking a consultative approach with a partner who is leading you down into social media. And we have lots of people at our company who are more than happy just to come in and chat and say what are best practices, what shouldn't be doing. And we do, try and keep up with that on a daily basis because it does change.
I think first and foremost is have a policy. Spend some time up front before engaging and before getting involved to set a corporate policy. And you can look at maybe friends in your industry or partners and see what they're doing, but certainly have some sort of policy. And the second thing is just listen. I mean, a lot of times you can get a lot of information just to see what people are saying about you. So maybe you don't want to actually engage, if there's a HIPAA regulation. I realize that's a sensitive issue, but at least being able to listen and monitor and kind of follow what's going on is a good start.
No, I was going to reiterate as well policy. Obviously, social media is just another communication channel. So whatever rules and practices, best practices and processes that govern your communication for other channels should be, the similar things that are applied to this channel.
Just think, actually, it's interesting though, having dealt with traditional broadcasts and now being online. If you think about your traditional commercial for a healthcare company, you could very simply state on that commercial PCR call describing information in the ad in Red Book, for instance. When you're doing similar activities online, all the rules change. Now you do need fair balance. Now you do need to have full disclosure on that. Now, how do you do that without turning off your audience? So sometimes that policy changes depending on the medium that you're actually playing in. And so you definitely need to be aware of those things.
Well, not the first to say it, but this is absolutely from a measurement, engagement, and ROI perspective. We're in the golden age of public relations, and I'd really like to thank the three of you and your respective organizations for helping to bring us